Hey guys, welcome to Just Whelmed episode 2. I was just decided to snack just like Wally does, and I forgot to mute the stream. So looks like we got right now we got Tom Zambino and the Davises in the chat today. Unfortunately, the Davises will not be joining us today. They're feeling a little bit under the weather. And is anybody ever just over the weather or just the weather? Anyway, so Tom, if you're feeling up to join in, I'll send you an invite now. If you're, I know you got your own show later today, but I figure I'll send out an invite now, so I'm not just talking to myself. No. Okay, so. Oh, that out using the email from our episode Fan Friction. Oh, my own face is frozen there. Let me refresh. So I'm just gonna kill a little bit of time and just see if Tom joins. Anybody else joins in. So, as I stated last week, this episode we covered episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6. Welcome to Happy Harbor. Okay, so. All right, so it looks like it might just be me from for right now. So, all right, we'll see how this goes. Just me. All right, so the 4 episodes that we had to cover this week were Welcome to Happy Harbor, Drop Zone, Schooled, and Infiltrator. It looks like Tom swapped to his alter ego. And we'll be going in order here from obviously starting at Welcome to Happy Harbor. I'll do a little recaps and discussion. Though a little bit more one-sided this week than last week because once again, Joe and Ashley are a little bit under the weather. So, starting off, we've got Welcome to Happy Harbor, and this is pretty much the Miss Martian introduction episode because, the other 4 each had their own, big chunk in the first 2 episodes. So we're starting with Welcome to Happy Harbor is everything we know so far about Miss Martian. So right off the bat, things seem a little bit, different with her. She's got her own catchphrase, "Hello, Megan." And okay, yeah. Joe and Ash are only halfway through these episodes, so that's like I'll try not to be too spoily for the other half then, or you could tune in now once I get to them because I probably will want to talk spoilers. So no worries there. Just once I get to Schooled, you can feel free to tune out for now, and then watch it again later. All right. Okay, so Joe says spoilery stuff is fine. All right, so a little bit back on track. I know I just keep going. I mean, it's like I know you guys aren't concerned with spoilers. But I really don't want to spoil anything past this. So, which is why I'm fine spoiling the episodes that are the topic. But I'm gonna try not to spoil stuff in future episodes, like I kind of did last week, talking about the mole. But I digress a bit. Anyway, we get Miss Martian. She's showing people around the cave. Obviously, living with Superboy in the cave alone. Don't really know where Aqualad lives. But by the way, Ash and Joe, I know I said last week that Aqualad doesn't have any other clothes, and here we are, literally 1 episode later, and he's got regular clothes. I completely forgot about this, mostly because it's like winter wear, and why is he wearing winter wear in the middle of July? We're already, by the way, we're already zooming past where we are in past the present. So you think he'll never get tired of Hello Megan? Well, you know, saying sarcastically, it's not annoying. It actually is a little bit endearing as far as we go along, especially once we get to find out where it's. We will figure out down the line where it originates from, because that doesn't really seem like something that you would get from Mars. Also, you know, she speaks English, you know, a lot more American than her uncle does, which is a little weird since her uncle's been living on Earth and she has not. That's which will also be brought up later down the line, but it's just something to note. Anyway, she messes up her cookies, but you know, Wally, he just has to keep eating because he's Wally, and like they establish, yeah, he has a high metabolism, so they're like, yeah, he's always eating. That's why I opened up eating a cookie. So this is essentially just a nice little tour around the cave, Happy Harbor, and get introduced to their ship, which is a Martian ship, which has a psychic connection to Miss Martian and can cloak and transform, and it's awesome. It's so awesome, guys. This is probably one of my favorite things about this show is this ship and like its connection to Miss Martian. Oh, by the way, we also in this introduction we get we are you know, everybody learns everybody's names. Megan goes by Megan because it's pretty similar. You know, Kid Flash is Wally. You know, Secret Identity, which we discussed last time with the shades. Aqualad is Calderon, or Calder for short, which I will probably address him as Calder because I like that name. And then we've got Superboy, who, like I said last time, doesn't actually have a name. We're not too far off from when he actually gets his name, though, and obviously if you know the character, you know the name that they're going to give him. But he doesn't have a name. And moving on for now, let me just check Twitter real quick. All right, so moving on from there, they go on a tour of Happy Harbor. Yeah, Red Tornado's back at the cave. He's the babysitter. He doesn't give them missions. He's just saying, yeah. But then he tells them, yeah, there's a little issue with the power plant. Go investigate that. And that's when we run into the villain of the episode, Mr. Twister, which is a nice call out to the origin of the Titans, where they actually, their first villain was Mr. Twister, if memory serves correctly. Not like the show, but like the actual comic book Teen Titans. And of course, it's like it's a red robotic guy. Miss Martian can't read their mind, and you know, now everybody is very open to Miss Martian's telekinetic powers right away because they feel it's a little bit invasive, and Superboy's got a little bit of bad taste in his mouth because of all the stuff they did at Cadmus. So she can't read his mind, leading her to think that, you know, he's a robot, so therefore it must be Red Tornado. It's a red robot that does tornadoes. It's not, but it is after Red Tornado though, which is very interesting. And essentially, just over the course of the episode, we get a little bit more of the team, you know, coming together. Robin still, you know, goes ahead, does his own thing. You know, get a lot of nice little scenes of Robin and Wally just talking to each other, just because they do that. We will proceed to get that for the rest of the season, and it's just great as they finally take it down. They send Megan home. She talks to Red Tornado, and she's like, "Yeah, it's odd that, you know, it's the same thing." It's like, wait a second, it's a red robot that's tornadoes waiting for a big time person. It must be after Red Tornado. So she telekinetically links to everybody else, and they have this plan, which is probably one of the strong suits of this of the series is that they have use of this telekinetic link so that they can actually formulate plans without actually having to speak. So it's very they can formulate plans without anybody overhearing it at all. For them to all work together and have Miss Martian pose as Red Tornado, have Wally pose as Red Tornado's tornadoes, which it's such a brilliant move just to have Wally spin to be his tornadoes, and so they could actually pull this off. And then they take him down. Miss Martian, it's like he comes out of the suit, and Miss Martian's like, "All right, time to crush him." It's like, "No, what are you doing, Miss Martian?" It's like, "I thought you guys trust me." It was a robot in a robot suit. It's pretty odd, but Wally collects his first souvenir, which is the eye of Mr. Twister, and this is the first of 4 souvenirs in these 4 episodes. And Wally will be collecting souvenirs for the majority of episodes because it's just something he likes to do. He likes to commemorate the missions that he has as a team. It's something that he does, but it also sort of brings the team together, and it's just one of those like little things that continues through the rest of the series, and it's nice. And it's a nice little wrap up of that. Got through that episode quick. There's not too much and it's mostly just establishment of things to come. So now we go to their first official mission in episode 4, Drop Zone, and Batman gives them this covert op where they have to go spy on the Venom plant in Santa Prisca. Now, guys, we get Bane, and Bane is like sort of not even like a bad guy in this episode. He's more like an anti-hero in this episode, and that's pretty good. And I actually feel kind of bad that we didn't really go into Blockbuster at all last week, because Blockbuster already comes back episode 4 where it's actually mixed with the Venom. And I like how very early on they're like, okay, this is how we prove that this Cobra Venom, as they call it, is actually really good. We'll give Bane his Venom, we'll give this guy Cobra Venom, and then the guy with Cobra Venom will wipe the floor with Bane easily. And I think that's just a great way of showing how much better. Yeah, Tom. I remember Blockbuster. And my actual video is buffering again. I'm not even gonna bother doing that because the chat's fine. So I'm not gonna worry about that. So we got the Blockbuster formula mixed with Venom. So the team is sent to Venom factory to investigate what's going on. They're making Venom round the clock, but for whatever reason, the Venom's not going out to their usual routes. So they're just meant to spy. So of course, we get there, Robin just disappears again because he's Robin. Wally trips, falls, and encounters the enemy. Obviously, 2 rival factions, Bane's factions and the Cobra factions. And yeah, that actual stealth didn't go. And by the way, I like to bring up one thing I did miss last episode, in episode 3, that I'll bring up, is that Speedy wants nothing to do with the team. And it's the last time we see him in that costume, and then it's also the last time we see Wally in his old costume, because in this episode we get Wally and Aqualad's stealth costumes, which are Wally could just do that, and now he's in stealth mode. He's like, his suit turns all black, and it's so cool. It's so cool, guys. And Miss Martian's clothes also morph because it's made out of the same stuff as the ship, so she can go into stealth mode too. And so they capture both forces that got into a firefight with Wally, and Superboy overhears that Bane is like, well, I could trick these guys and get them to and get them to work in my favor. And so Bane then proceeds to, manipulate the team such that, they can get him into his factory through his secret entrance. And all the time, they are fighting over who is going to be leader. And the one thing I really like about this is, yeah, Robin's not the leader, guys. As like, how crazy is that? You got a teenage team with Robin in it that Robin isn't leading. That's insane. That never happens. Like, no matter what Robin leads. It's just accepted. But no, we've got Calderon leading, because it makes sense. Out of all the teammates, he is the one that's got the level head. He is the one that can keep calm. He is the one that knows, okay, Miss Martian, our comms aren't working. We need that psychic link. That way we can, formulate plans and not actually have to worry about anything. So we've got, we've got Cobra. We've got Bane's forces. We've also got probably one of the best villains of the entire show, Sportsmaster. And we only get a little bit of Sportsmaster in this episode, but he's coming back, guys. He plays a pretty sizable role in this series, and I love Sportsmaster. It's like leave it to the people that made Spectacular Spider-Man and Gargoyles to make a villain that uses sports equipment seem menacing. I mean, dude freaking throws javelins, and you can see the camouflage of Miss Martian when pretty much nobody else can. I think it's like, I only think like one other character can actually see through it just by pure eyesight, and we'll get him somewhere along the line. Joe says he likes how Calder is a suitable leader. Now they've been shown that Calder's a suitable leader since the beginning. And Casey Jones does make sports equipment work well. So anyway, we've got this Cobra Venom, and when they find out about the Cobra Venom, Robin, he just kind of zooms off. Wally zooms off too, and he's like, yeah, Robin's not doing anything. I'll go figure this out. And that's not what Wally's doing. Wally's going for a snack. And it makes sense that Wally would have snacks hidden in his costume, because he's got that metabolism. He needs to eat. I don't know why I've decided to make that the joke this episode, that I'm just going to keep eating. I mostly wanted cookies. This is a little bit harder when I'm on myself. I'm just going a little crazy, guys. Luckily, I got you guys in the chat, so I can still go back and forth a little bit. But we've got more of that interaction between Robin and Wally, and this is there's a little bit more scientifically minded Wally. It's like he recognizes that it's Venom and the Cobra, not the Cobra molecule, the blockbuster molecule from just a couple weeks ago, and it's combined already. And luckily, they were able to formulate a plan. Superboy initially, goes after the Cobra Venom huge guy. But on the replan, once Calder is actually leading the team, it's like, yeah, Superboy, that's not a fight you're gonna win. So yeah, Calder just kind of push him with water, and that'll take him out. And once again, we get another Robin already thought ahead and disabled the chopper. It's just like, Also, you gotta give it to Sportsmaster when that chopper does explode. They snuck those explosives to take out the entire supply of the Cobra Venom. They exploded the factory using bombs that Bane had tried to like trap them and kill them. They blew up the chopper. They blew up the factory, but get Sportsmaster jumping out of an exploding helicopter, and it's just like, screw it. He's got a single vial of Cobra Venom, which, knowing this show, that's got to come back. It has to. So, and then Batman is like, yeah, nope, no plan, survives first contact with the enemy. Good job actually navigating that situation and, choosing your leader. Because, it's the obvious choice would just be to make Robin leader, but that's not the right choice. Calder was the right choice in this situation, and he does leader. Whether or not he will continue to question that over the course of the series and the season, but that's enough with that. It's like we just keep throwing out these villains. I don't remember who voiced Batman on the show. I know Joe, you looked it up last week. I already forget, but he does do a good job. It's like it's this nice different. All right, so now we're in the portion where Joe and Ashley haven't read about. So I'm just gonna it's I'm gonna talk about this, and you guys are gonna be like, oh wow. So we get episode 5, Schooled, and it opens up with an explosion on a bridge in Gotham City. We see Bruce Wayne up in the tower. He's looking down at it. He pulls out a drawer on his desk. He's got the Batman suit in there. But of course, Superman's already over there. He just kind of flies over. He starts saving people. And right behind him, Superboy. And Superboy's doing his best to help out. Unfortunately, since he can't fly, he lands on the bridge that Superman is trying to, fix. And it doesn't really go over well with Superman. And he kind of... oh yeah, that's right. It is back. We talked about that last week. And yeah, so Superman doesn't really approve of what Superboy is doing, and just kind of dismisses him. He's like, because he wants to deal with him, and Batman's like, Clark, we need to talk. Oh, hey Billy, you want to jump in here? I'm gonna send you a actually do it. I think I've got da, da, da. Anyway, I'll keep talking now, because I it's like probably too far behind for Billy to have actually heard me so far. So moving where was I? Oh yeah, still at the beginning. Superman, Batman get a call from Green Arrow. They get sent off to who knows what. Well, we'll know soon enough. Thomas promised punch and pie. I might want to get on that. I mean, I don't have punch or pie, but I do have diet green tea and cookie, which I will eat by myself. So, get to the cave. Black Canary's doing some training. Easily wipes the floor with Wally, which is probably one of my favorite Robin lines of the episode. That's like one of my favorite Robin lines of the episode is Wally hit on teacher and got knocked down. It's just like, I love that friendship so much, guys. I know I keep saying it, but it's true. Yeah, Canary kicking everyone's ass is fun. Because then Superboy's like, with my powers, I've got no need. It's over when I fight. It's like Canary's just like, and then just knocks his ass down twice, and it's without even using her canary cry. And it's pretty great, guys. Just watching her own everything. So next up, it's like, you know, Black Canary is also doing this with an injury, which we find out is from Amazo, the android with the powers of the entire Justice League. And, you know, first signs seem to be that it's made by Dr. Ivo, but Dr. Ivo is dead, which, you know, it's first anybody's hearing of this in the show. He's not. he's still around. So the team is tasked with splitting up and guarding 2 trucks that actually have all the parts of Amazo, where there are also 4 other decoy trucks. But things get out of hand real quick, and got these nice robotic monkeys attacking the van, and attacking each of the trucks. So yeah, it's not good, guys. We got these monkeys, and Superboy hates monkeys. that like one of the few things that we established very early on. Superboy hates monkeys, and that'll stay constant for a while. He hates monkeys. So we got Robin and Superboy on one truck, and then Miss Martian, Wally, and Aqualad on the other. And, you know, Superboy is going a little bit, you know, rogue-ish. Is like, once the monkeys take all the parts for Amazo, he rips out his comms and just starts jumping towards the monkeys, just following them. Just, he'll catch up to them eventually. He'll know that. He's just gotta keep at it. Meanwhile, Robin's just like, yeah, I took down this monkey. They none of the decoy trucks got attacked. The monkeys had to know. He and Ron Stoppel will get together and discuss their monkey hatred. And considering the genomes from monkey like that would make sense. Yeah, that does make sense. So Robin's able to track the parts of Amazo and finds out that they are converging on Gotham City. Unfortunately, Miss Martian and Aqualad can't make it that far, but Robin's close enough, and Wally's got super speed, so Wally speeds up to go meet up with Robin and go track down those parts, and which they do, but first not after Superboy catches up with Ivo, spouts his, "You're Ivo? I'm whelmed." I'm just like, love the fact that that's still a thing, guys. I love it so much. And also, you know, in this episode, we get, you know, the title of this episode, where, you know, Robin's talking about is the opposite of disaster, Aster. And I'm feeling the Aster, guys. So I bet you could probably make a counter of how many times I say so also. All right, so from that point, Superboy, you know, keeps following Ivo, who has now assembled a Mazo and is just wrecking Superboy at this point. And their fight brings them to Gotham Academy, which, once again, we get another hint that Wally and Robin are closer friends than they are initially letting on, because, you know, they both decide to take a little bit of a break and get changed into their superhero costume, because they're like, well, you know, with Wally it makes sense. He, you know, running at super speed in civilian clothing, it's not great. It's not great. My college, that makes sense. Makes sense. So, did it again. And like I said, this is where we get a little bit more into their actual friendship, where instead of saying, "Dude, the androids at Gotham Academy," he turns to Wally and said, "Dude, it's at my school," implying that Wally already knows where his school is. Which is like, yeah, he would know that where Robin would go to school if he knew who Robin was. And, you know, it makes sense because he's the one that's pointing out that, you know, Batman doesn't allow Robin to, you know, show his secret identity. Wally knows his secret identity, guys. It's pretty obvious he knows. and we'll get an even more heavy-handed one a little bit further down the line. I think like halfway through the series. Season, rather, not series. Halfway through the series is the end of the season. Well, so far, but anyway. So we get to the actual fight in the gymnasium of Gotham Academy. And probably the best way to describe this fight is Superboy learning that he's not going to win this one with just pure force. So he decides to go for a different tactic. He decides to go after Ivo instead of the android, which Ivo then, you know, overrides his current objective, and instead of attacking them, it's protecting him, which allows for a little bit more of a, you know, back and forth of, you know, keeping the android distracted up until we get to the final point where he goes for Miss Martian's not Miss Martian, Martian Manhunter's ability to become intangible, turns around to Superboy, and it's like, you know, access Superman, and gets ready to punch him. Unfortunately, Superboy was just a little bit faster than him and already punched, kept it where its head is. He became tangible and head exploded. That is how you take down a Mazo, guys. That's how you do it. He can access one person's powers at a time. That's how you do it. And also going back a bit, what was the souvenir from? Oh yeah, the souvenir from last episode was the Cobra cultist mask, and the souvenir from this episode is an arrow that seemed to have come out of nowhere. At first, Wally, everybody suspects that it's a Green Arrow, but it's different from the Green Arrow, and they're like, oh, Speedy must have our back. But, you know, looking at the arrow, it's not a red arrow, it's a green arrow. But it's not Green Arrow, it's Green Arrow. So Batman and Green Arrow, like, they both look at each other and like, they know whose arrow that is. And we will soon know whose arrow that is once we move on to the next episode. So next episode, everybody's deciding to have a nice little beach party, except for Wally, whose school started. And this is probably one of my all-time favorite, you know, montages of the series, where you have everybody having fun in the sun, you know, just juxtaposed with Wally being miserable in school. It's just genius, because Wally is like the one that would be having the most fun out of all of them, and he's just like, I got squared on by the water fountain. That's what I was looking for. And it's just instead everybody else is having fun. Day's finally over, but he still doesn't meet everybody else until nightfall. What took you so long, Wally? You definitely got out of school like at least around 3 at the latest. Oh wait, yeah, Central City. It's Midwest. Yeah, that's right. Time differences, but that's still it's a little much, guys. It's either Central or Mountain Time. I don't remember which. It's like Midwest, I think, is where Central City is. Unless anybody wants to refute me, but I think Central City's Midwest. Anyway, Wally makes it just in time for the actual mission, which is set up very early on, where we have Speedy, now going by the name Red Arrow, in his brand new Red Arrow outfit, which looks amazing. I just love the look of it, and it's just like it's such a nice evolution of the character. And he actually rescued the scientist. So with this scientist, we find out that she had to create this swarm. Yeah, Red Arrow is a bitch at least early on. Yeah, he's a little bit of a dick. So the scientist had to create this swarm of nano machines that can destroy anything and steal data. And it's just this cloud, and they call it the infiltrators. And it's like they have to use the scientists to create this like virus to kind of destroy it. But in making the virus, she also needs to be online to upload the virus to the infiltrators, which draws everybody to them. And so we get like a whole bunch of assassins coming after them. But first, we find out who that arrow came from. It came from their 6th teammate, Artemis. And oh boy, does Wally make a first impression on Artemis, and does Artemis make a first impression on him. They hate each other. Very early on, they cannot stand each other, and it's great. And we get a lot of nice dynamic between all the characters in this episode. We get Wally obviously always hitting on Miss Martian in these early episodes. We get Artemis mentally ogling Superboy, which everybody can hear, and she's like, I know. And just like, oh, come on, stop. McGann's right there. But that also distracts them to get Cheshire in, and it's not good. And we get, of course, Wally drowning later on, Miss Martian giving him out the mouth, and him mentally saying that, and everybody hears it, and she's like, ah. And obviously, I last episode I said the best. No, 2 episodes ago I said the best Robin line. Well, this episode has the best Aqualad line ever. Stop it, both of you. I can hear you glaring at each other, and it's such a great line, because like they got this mental connection. You can physically hear them glaring and the seething hatred that they have for each other in these early episodes. So they go for a couple rounds. In the first place, they hide the scientist. Cheshire sneaks past the guard, slowly takes down, sort of secretly takes down Wally, throws him into a pool, shoots, hits Aqualad with some venom, try to take him down. Doesn't really work, because Atlanteans, they're made of some tough stuff. They're able to save the scientist and move on. But then they realize that we probably should keep an eye on the actual infiltrators, because they're just attacking everywhere, stealing information. This is not good. So they send Robin and Superboy out to follow the infiltrator cloud, and we've got everybody else still guarding the scientist, whose name I honestly forget. It's something. I don't know if she's like a big character in the comics or anything. I just know that she created this cloud. So we've got this cloud kind of eating sealing data, and I like the plan that they come up with next, where they have Miss Martian pretend to be the scientist and sort of fool all the assassins into going after Miss Martian, because they got the psychic link, but then Aqualad just sort of speaks out loud, and it's like you get this like, oh, that there's something sneaky about that. Aqualad would never say that out loud when he literally already said something mentally to everyone. So you got Miss Martian pretending to be the scientist. Scientist is elsewhere, still working on the virus, and she's actually able to finish it and upload it. Meanwhile, Cheshire, who is another big character of the show, uh, you know, still trying to poison Aqualad, and starts to be chased by Artemis. Artemis knocks off her mask, and she seems to recognize whoever it is that Cheshire actually is. Not trying to spoil anything for anybody that actually knows the Artemis Cook character, but they seem to have some sort of relationship. That's about all we get in this episode. But Cheshire leaves the mask behind. Wally takes it as a souvenir, and sort of berates Artemis for letting Cheshire go. And of course, Miss Martian's like, well, you still did better than I did my first mission, because Miss Martian kind of did, I kind of glossed over it when I went over that episode, but she, she said that, that Mr. Twister was Red Tornado, and kind of paid a price for it a little bit, and he just kind of destroyed everything, shocked everybody with electricity. But Miss Martian assures Artemis that she did better than her first mission, and we end the episode with a confrontation between Artemis and Red Arrow, and it's like, I know you're not Green Arrow's niece. Now, Batman and Green Arrow have their reasons for lying to the team, so I'll keep your secret for now. And of course, we have to end the episode where we end a lot of these episodes with a nice little conversation about what's going on with the light. And here's where we actually get the revelation that there is, in fact, a mole in somewhere along the line concerning the team. That there is, in fact, a mole, and they're getting inside information about what's going on the team. And this will be, playing through the rest of the season. And so for the people that haven't seen the series, I kind of want to see, as we go along, who they think the mole is. And that's actually something I want to keep an eye on, see what people, because one of the things I want to see how people think of characters on like different points at their development. Like, I know, like, when Nolan first decided that he was going to watch, and then he only wound up watching the first 4 episodes, he said he loved how like angsty Superboy is, and yeah, he's pretty darn angsty. But like, obviously, 1 episode later, we find out why we get driven home why he's so angsty. It's like Superman still wants nothing to do with him. He's like, he's not my son. Also, a nice little thing. Superman's getting apple pie because he's that all-American boy. It's just, anyway. That's all 4 episodes. It's just nice 45 minutes of just me rambling to myself and talking to the chat. So tune in next week, where we start off with the episode that drew me into the series, and it's a nice Dr. Fate episode, and I can't wait, guys. So until next week, that's I got nothing to sign off with, so I'm just gonna get another cookie. Are you still watching? Episode's over, guys. Can leave.